Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my fangirl favorites for March 2023. So, welcome back to another month of fangirl favorites. Yeah, guys, so far the year is rolling along quite nicely. Honestly, I can't believe we're already done with month 3 of this year. Why does it feel like every month just keeps flying by? You always hear that saying, the older you get, the quicker time flies, and that is apparently very true. So yeah, you guys, this month's video, once again, as I usually do, I'm going to just be going down some things, some nerdy things that I enjoyed in particular this month, whether that's movies, television, video games, whatever, things that I bought. So yeah, I guess just to start with a few television shows that I've been enjoying this month. The Last of Us finally finished up this month. This first season of The Last of Us, super amazing, so incredibly well done. This is how you do a video game adaptation. Why is it so difficult for people to understand this? The Last of Us, this adaptation, this is what people need to watch in order to get some inspiration about how you do a video game adaptation right. Yeah, I was just super pleased with this first season of The Last of Us. I'm looking forward to the second season. The second game is rather controversial. With a reason. I personally love the second game, but yeah, it definitely does have its fair share of some criticism and complaints and whatnot, so I'm definitely kind of curious how the show is going to kind of handle some of that controversy with the second game. But yeah, this first season was just absolutely amazing. I honestly don't think I have anything to nitpick about it or complain. Um, Sometimes, I mean, if I did need to get a little nitpicky with it, sometimes I do think the pacing could have been a tiny bit slow when I think it could have got a little bit more action. But other than that, I loved the performances. I loved how they told the story. I loved the creative liberties that they took with it in places. And for the most part, they stuck with the story. How difficult is that to do? A lot of these video game adaptations, you have a story. Write your movie to that story. A lot of times, these video game adaptations want to sit and go, oh, wow, and crazy, and then you get a movie that has absolutely nothing to do with the game. And sometimes not even, you won't even have characters from the game. It'd be like completely unique creations or whatever. So yeah, I'm just super happy with this first season of The Last of Us. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey, wow, I love their chemistry together, how they worked with each other. I'm really hoping next season, for like award season and whatnot, I'm really hoping the two of them get nominated because they definitely deserve it. I think their performances were that good, and I think the show was that good that it was award worthy. um, yeah, you guys, I'm definitely curious your thoughts on The Last of Us. If you played the video games, how much you love those games, how much you love this show, or maybe you didn't like the show. I think there is a small little group out there that doesn't like it. But yeah, if you're kind of in that little group there, yeah, what is it about the show that maybe kind of rubbed you the wrong way? Moments that you didn't like, liberties maybe that you perhaps didn't like. But yeah, for the most part, I freaking loved this show. Totally satisfied with it. I'd probably say I'm probably 98% satisfied with this show, and that's kind of hard to say for some shows, to give it kind of such a high ranking like that, in my opinion. And something else that I got around to watching this month on Netflix, Luther, the Fallen Son. This is a movie based off of the very popular Luther television series, the British television series, starring Idris Elba. You guys, I had no idea there was a Luther movie coming out on Netflix until maybe like a month ago. Maybe about a month ago, I found out about this movie coming out, and I was like, what? Oh my God. I don't think in the entirety that I have been doing this channel, considering I've been doing this channel for a pretty long time, I don't think I have ever taken the time to express my absolute love of the Luther television series, you guys. So yeah, when I found out Netflix was doing this movie, I was like, oh my God, yes. Because I knew Netflix was doing, because like in April, The Last Kingdom is getting a movie, and then sometime I think this year, Peaky Blinders is getting a movie. So I knew about those, but yeah, it's like where the hell did Luther come from out of nowhere? But yeah, if you don't know what Luther is about, it was originally a British television show that I believe aired. It started in 2010. I believe the very first season came out in 2010. So yeah, it's pretty old. Came out in 2010, and season 5 aired quite a number of years ago, in 2019. So yeah, this movie, there's been a pretty large gap, from season 5 here to this movie, and the show follows a a police detective named Luther, played by Idris Elba. And the thing about Luther's character, he's a good cop, but he's also kind of a bad one. uh, he kind of goes back and forth between being good cop, bad cop. Um, and he a lot of times takes a lot of risky chances. He'll kind of do things that as a cop he should not be doing, but for the sake of figuring out a crime and solving a murder and getting truth and justice, he'll do some things that perhaps he shouldn't do, so that makes him such a compelling character on a show like this, that he is a good, decent man at heart, but he has a little bit of a wicked, naughty side to him that sometimes he can be a bit villainous. And Idris Elba, he does that so brilliantly. Only an actor like Idris Elba can kind of pull something off like that, where you love him, and maybe sometimes you're kind of a little disgusted with what he's kind of doing, but at the same time it's like you love him. And it's all down to Idris Elba. And yeah, that original series also starred Ruth Wilson, which I freaking loved Ruth Wilson in that. So yeah, this television show that this movie that just aired on Netflix. It's a 2-hour movie, which is definitely quite a difference from the show, because the show, the seasons tended to run anywhere from about 4 to 6 episodes in length. So yeah, it's dramatically cut down to a 2-hour movie, which I'll kind of talk about here in a minute. But yeah, in this particular movie, um, our main primary villain, and you know this immediately from the get go, so this is not a spoiler. So your main villain is Andy Serkis, you guys. Yes, Andy Serkis, a Gollum from Lord of the Rings, you guys. Hell yes. I'll talk about Andy Serkis too. Oh my god. Andy Serkis is your primary villain in this. He is just an absolutely ruthless, sadistic creep of a character, and he targets people who are rather weak in some ways, people who have some sort of guilt or shame that they are so embarrassed by that they will kill themselves rather than their guilt and deep secret shame come out into the light to their loved ones and whatnot. So yeah, Andy Serkis's character targets these people who are in a really low place. There's something shameful in their life that they do not want out there in the open, and that they will just die if they have to. They rather die than that shame and guilt come out. So that's kind of where this movie is opening, and this is also not a spoiler because this literally happens in like the first 10 minutes of this movie. Andy Serkis's character, he just really has it out for Luther's character, and Luther, like I said, pretty much within the first 10 minutes of this movie, Luther finds himself in prison. All of the big, crazy things that he's been up to have finally kind of caught up to him. And now he's in prison, and it's not good for him because a lot of the criminals in there, he's put there. So people are not too happy to see him there, and he gets bullied around a lot. And so, in the meantime, Andy Serkis's character is still running around committing all of these sadistic murders and whatnot. And Luther, he can't let this go. He is still a cop at heart, and he's like, I need to get out of here, and I need to solve this crime, because he thinks he can figure it out at the end of the day. So, of course, Luther's going to get out of jail. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that. He will get out of jail, and it's pretty much a race against the clock to outmaneuver the police and kind of work with them as best he can to figure out where this creep of a character is, where Andy Serkis is, and what is Andy Serkis's character truly up to, and what his motivations are. So I did thoroughly enjoy this movie for what it was. I was just so happy to have the character of Luther back in my life. I just love Idris Elba. This is the character he was born to play, you know? And you can tell that Idris Elba loves playing this character. Every single season, this movie, he always loves coming back to this character and revisiting this character. Because he's such a dark, twisted kind of soul in some ways, you know? Um, like I said, it's a 2 hour movie. It's pretty much right at 2 hours. And like I said, the TV show, the seasons usually ran anywhere from 4 to 6 episodes. And I was kind of missing that format in this movie because when you have about 4 to 6 hours to really dive into a story, that's just it. You really have a lengthy amount of time to focus on character, to really focus on the plot, to focus on pacing. And I do think that this Luther movie was kind of lacking in that regard, that I feel like you didn't have a lot of really good character moments like you usually do. I feel like the pacing was just a little too rapid, because sometimes characters were making leaps in judgment, and that didn't really make any sort of sense, you know, compared to if you had an hour-long episode to kind of get to that point, to get to that piece of logic, you know. And then, yeah, there's kind of a bit of hopping around near the end of the movie, from like one country to another country, and at first I was just really confused. I was like, wait, how did they get there that fast? So yeah, with a 2 hour movie, you do run the problem of pacing being a little off, and you run the problem of not getting enough character moments and depth and nuance there. But yeah, I mean, that all being said, I think the performances were still really great. Idris Elba was still amazing in this role. Just, I love him to bits. I definitely got to give a shout out to Andy Serkis, you guys. Andy Serkis, he was in Andor last year, and he was only in a few episodes of Andor, but he just absolutely stole those episodes he was in. And yeah, he kind of does it in this movie as well. He's just very memorable, and yeah, oh, he's playing just such a sadistic creep, and he does it so well. I'm just glad Andy Serkis has been getting a lot of roles where he gets to be human, because a lot of times he's either in makeup or he's a CGI creature of some sort, you know. So yeah, his performance and kind of that weird sadistic chemistry that he has with Idris Elba's character, it just worked magnificently. And then yeah, another main character, Cynthia Erivo, I believe her name is pronounced. I don't think I've ever seen Cynthia Erivo in anything, but I always hear a lot of good stuff about her. And I really loved her in this. She's a fellow detective cop as well, and she's kind of very anti-Luther. Like, hey, we put you in jail, you need to stay in jail. Let the police do what we do best, and you stay out of it. But yeah, she kind of realizes quickly, hey, maybe I need to work with Luther, because we are not getting anywhere without his help. But yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. They definitely left the movie in a place that there could be more movies in the future. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I think I would much rather maybe have another season of the show, to be quite honest. I mean, yeah, if we get movies and that's all we get, I'll be appreciative of that, because it's better than nothing. But at the end of the day, I think I would really quite honestly prefer just to go back to the television, because I think that's where it works the best compared to being more of a movie, if that makes sense. But yeah, anybody else watch the Luther movie? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just let me know. And you guys, I do have something nerdy that I bought this month that I got to show you guys, that I was just absolutely thrilled about. And it's this beauty of a Funko Pop. I have not been collecting anywhere near as many Funko Pops as I used to in the past, you guys. I mean, if you can see my shelves, I think y'all can see my shelves. Just Funko Pops lined up all over the place. I got a whole thing of Harry Potter Pops over here. I got the entire freaking cast of Game of Thrones over here. Yeah, I have so many Funko Pops. It's kind of gotten to the point I don't have any room anymore. So I have to kind of be a little bit picky and choosy with certain ones nowadays, like ones that I really, really want. And yeah, I definitely really wanted this, because I think for the past several years, I have just been dying for Funko to make this particular moment from Tangled, with Rapunzel and Flynn Rider on the boat with the lanterns and whatnot. So I finally got my wish. Now I just need to find someplace in my room to put it, unfortunately. But it's a beautiful pop, I think. Let me kind of get in there. Yeah, you got Rapunzel over here holding a lantern. You can see her little bare feet down there in the boat. It's really cute. And Flynn and his little satchel. You got little Pascal over here, and some more lanterns and whatnot. It's really, really pretty. I love it. I'm just glad I finally got my wish for a Funko Pop with this particular moment from the movie. I love it. And you guys, as far as some things that you can expect next month on this channel, there's just a lot of television shows that were concluding in this month of March that I didn't really want to try to squeeze out here at the end of March. So April is going to have a lot of TV show reviews. So yeah, specifically, I'm going to be reviewing the television series Servant. I really want to do like a whole series review on Servant, but yeah, like a non-spoiler review of that show. I freaking love the television show Servant. I don't think enough people watch that, so I'm going to kind of do a series overview to maybe kind of get people interested to try and check out the show. And then Carnival Row also wrapped up, and I never even reviewed the very first season of Carnival Row, so I'm going to do a series review on Carnival Row as well and kind of get people interested in that, possibly if you've never seen it. And then I'm also going to do probably a spoiler review on the latest season of Shadow and Bone, which I can't wait to talk about. And yeah, that's probably going to be it, I think. Probably all the shows I'll probably get around to reviewing. Servant, Carnival Row, and Shadow and Bone. I think that's all I'll have time to review throughout the month of April and whatnot. So yeah, stay tuned for those type of videos coming out in April. And then yeah, as far as a video that I had a lot of fun filming this month in particular, my birthday was at the very start of the month, and I went to Barnes & Noble, went a little nutty. I did a book haul early March. So yeah, if you have not watched my birthday book haul, go check that out because I have way too many books that I got excited about. So you guys, that is it for this video. In the comments below, just share with me anything that you got up to in the month of March. I don't care what it is. Anything that you love doing, any hobby that you have, anything that gives you great joy at the end of the day, whether that's books or movies or television, video games. If you collect something, if you like to travel somewhere, I mean, it honestly does not matter. Anything that gives you joy at the end of the day, just share with me down below. I always love hearing what you guys get up to at the end of every month. So yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye, guys.